Hey, friend, good morning. This is Heather from the Renaissance English History Podcast, and this is your tutor minute for May the 1st. It's May. Today in 1517, though, we saw the evil May Day riots. So, 2 weeks previously, a Dr. Bell preached a sermon against immigrants who were coming to England to take their jobs, take the jobs of native born Englishmen, and encouraged people to attack foreigners. During the May Day of 1517, apprentices were joined by Thames watermen and city porters, and they ran wild in London, attacking foreigners in their homes and shops. Now, most of these foreigners were French, but there were also attacks on the Jews and the Dutch. Thomas More managed to calm everything down, and within the next few days, over 300 people were arrested, and a few dozen of the leaders were hung, drawn, and quartered. So there's also a very famous play about Thomas More that was written about 100 years later, which a lot of people think Shakespeare was involved in writing, although he's not officially attributed to it. And there's some very famous lines that Thomas More speaks in the play about the evil May Day crisis, specifically about refugees and about immigrants. And so this is a scene where Thomas More is calming down the crisis and talking about how we don't need to hate immigrants. And he says, "Imagine that you see the wretched strangers, their babies at their backs and their poor luggage plodding to the ports and the coasts for transportation. And that you sit as kings in your desires, authority quite silent by your brawl. And you in ruff of your opinions clothed, what had you got? I'll tell you, you had taught how insolence and strong hand should prevail, how order should be quelled. And by this pattern, not one of you should live an aged man. For other ruffians, as their fancies wrought, with self-same hand, self-reasons, and self-right, would shark on you. And men, like ravenous fishes, would feed on one another. Say now the king should so much come too short of your great trespass as but to banish you, whither would you go? What country, by the nature of your error, should give you harbor? Go you to France or Flanders, to any German province, to Spain or Portugal? Nay, anywhere that not adheres to England. Why, you must needs be strangers. Would you be pleased to find a nation of such barbarous temper that breaking out in hideous violence would not afford you an abode on earth? Whet their detested knives against your throats, spurn you like dogs, and like as if that God owed not nor made you, nor that the elements were not all appropriate to your comforts, but chartered onto them, what would you think to be thus used? This is the stranger's case, and this your mountainish inhumanity." That's your tutor minute for today. Remember, you can dive deeper into life in 16th century England through the Renaissance English History Podcast at englandcast.com or this channel right here. Go ahead and hit subscribe and have a fabulous day.